The clamour of demands for compensation from the government's carbon tax is growing louder. More industry groups have joined the push for money. And that's not the only trouble brewing on the tax. Yet another poll is showing its damaging public support for the government. From Canberra, political reporter Frances Bell.
From the steel factory to the supermarket shelf, the fight for carbon tax compensation is heating up.
The carbon tax will just be another increase in costs, and it's a cost that imported products from Southeast Asia and China won't be subject to.
The Food and Grocery Council has joined forces with more than 40 food producers, mining companies and manufacturers in a letter to the Prime Minister. They're seeking a guarantee that trade-exposed industries will not be worse off.
We're worried that food and groceries manufactured in Australia will be less competitive on Australian supermarket shelves, which of course will cost jobs.
There's no word from the government on when it will spell out its industry assistance package. In the meantime, the union movement is keeping up the pressure.
As if they get the design wrong, if they don't have the appropriate levels of compensation for those workers in emissions-intensive trade-exposed industries, then we won't support a tax.
The government has guaranteed generous compensation for householders, but the latest opinion poll suggests that's done little to win over voters. Primary support for Labor has plunged to 31%, a 15-year low, while the Coalition is up 2 points to 47%. On a two-party preferred basis, the Coalition leads 56% to Labor's 44%.
There's a sense that when you go around the electorate, people are saying the government is losing control and there's a Prime Minister that's pretty much out of her depth.
Julia Gillard is the best leader the Labor Party's had in a very, very long period of time. And I'm confident that Julia Gillard will lead Labor to an election victory at the next election.
Julia Gillard has consistently promised to hold the line on the carbon tax, but when traditional supporters in the union movement and the welfare sector are lining up with the critics, the task isn't getting any easier. And with the promise of a tough budget, there's unlikely to be any relief in the polls in the weeks ahead. Frances Bell, ABC News, Canberra.